There is one thing you need to realize about this world. The world cannot con you into something that's obviously ridiculous. Let's say you are on Google. You type in beer bottle. And then you see this advertisement over there. Purchase a beer factory for $1. Automatically, your brain will give a hint, don't even pay attention to it. Why? Because a factory is where you produce stuff. Beer is not produced like that. Beer has to be brewed. So, when you see that, you're turned off. Or let's say you type in Paris in Google, and you find this advertisement that tells you can purchase Paris for, I don't know, a few $1,000 or a few $1,000,000. You're turned off. When something is obviously out of proportion, it won't work. Straight up. So, to con you, to trick you, to invest your confidence and your mind into something that's not real, they need to give the appearance as if the thing they want you to invest in is relevant to you. Because if it does not appear relevant to you, you wouldn't invest in it. This is not narcissistic. Human beings invest in what is relevant to them. Let me give me a very small example. Let's say that you live in some rural town in China, in the south, and someone wants to build a dam to manage the river. Because by managing the river, they hope to both benefit the farmers as well as produce electricity. Let's say you live over there. That project is going to benefit you, and it gives the locals opportunities for having a job. So many issues are dealt with this project. So because you live there, you're more likely to be interested and to invest. But if you're from a rural town in China, you don't earn a lot of money, and there is this barbershop being opened somewhere in Peru, and you hear about that, you would think, okay, good for that barber that is going to have a barbershop, but it's across the Pacific Ocean. They speak a different language, which is Spanish, which I don't speak. So, what is it to me? What can I do? I barely make money here in China, so I can't even donate or assist individuals. So if something is out of your league and out of your reach, you will likely not be interested in it. For something to be relevant to you, it must be one way or the other related directly to you or to your daily life, or it must be something that is accessible to you, something that you can influence. That's how things become relevant to you. So, when the world cons you, they will use things in your direct environment, or they will promote you. They will grant you access to secret knowledge, or they will grant you some type of local power just to win you over. That is why you have so many cults that promise secret knowledge. Because by offering hidden knowledge, they give you access to resources. And that motivates people when you grant them access to resources. So that is how it goes. They come with a story, and the story contains a problem that needs to be solved. And then you are appointed as the one who's able to solve this problem if you do X, Y, or Z. So, there's always a problem that's presented, and with the presentation of the problem, there's pressure that something needs to be done about it, and then it's suggested that you can do something about it if you invest in whatever they're offering you. And that is how you are caught by the world. That's how many of those satanic organizations do it. Many of those satanic organizations pretend to be charity organizations. They show you pictures of dying children in Africa or starving people somewhere. This triggers empathy in you. You feel upset. So you feel like something needs to be done. But yeah, what can you do? You only earn a minimum wage at the end of the month, or maybe you do have money, but you are certain that if you just give money to some government that they may use for other ends. So they tell you, don't worry, our organization knows people locally, so if you donate to us, we'll make sure that people locally are helped. So you donate. And you think you did it with a good heart, so there's nothing wrong with you. You did no evil, but they scammed you. So they're taking donations from people, they invested in stocks, do other things with it, and now they are living off the money, and nothing is done to help people locally. And there are times those pictures that I show you are staged. That also happens. So, in this case, they triggered your natural empathy, which is human, and they grant you access, saying you can do something about it if you only invest. And it's the investment they wanted because that is what they want to get out of you to begin with. There are many organizations that use this formula. There are many organizations out there, whether it's sororities, fraternities, or banks, or just companies, or political parties. They groom people emotionally through emotional blackmail. And by doing that, they now have control over you. And that's what demons want. Because demons want to control to feel relevant. Because demons are really homeless creeps that bear no relevancy whatsoever in God's plan. So now they want to be relevant as gods by having a grip on the human population. And that's why you have so many organizations that use pagan symbols. They use black magic to scam the population in supporting them. That's why such organizations, after you've been tricked into investing, they love bomb you. They overwhelm you with a great welcome. And because they overwhelm you with this great welcome, you don't consider that you may have been scammed. So after a year or two that you're so invested in that group, now that you begin to feel like something is off, you're quite reluctant to admit something is off because you invested so much in it and you're so attached to the benefits of being accepted as a human being that you will likely never want to question that something is off. And that's how many people remain trapped. Religious organizations work like this all the time. Look, you cannot con anyone into something that's not relevant to them. And you cannot con anyone into something that's obviously ridiculous. You can only con someone into something that's relevant to them. And for something to be relevant to them, it must appear realistic. The thing itself that you're conning them in may not be realistic at all, but it has to appear realistic to the victim. Look, if you read an email, a scam email of some Nigerian prince that is about to die, he has no children, so he wants to leave the money to someone, now that's very unlikely that you are a prince from a royal family and you have no spouse. That's very unlikely. And even if you have no spouse, you have other relatives from the royal family that you can leave the wealth to, because royals seldom just spread their wealth to outsiders. And even if you are on odds with your family, but you're still a prince, why would you just give away money to a random individual online? You don't even know who that individual is. So the scam emails of those Nigerian princes that want to donate their inheritance is obviously something that your alarm in your spirit would reveal to you. No. There are some very desperate and delusional people that fall for it, but those are exceptions. But if you tell someone that the reason why there's so much unemployment in your country is because of those migrants that keep coming in big numbers, they don't speak the language, they end up with criminality. When you give them a story and you give them some facts, people will perceive those facts as evidence. Because when they do a fact check, they will realize the facts are true. And because the facts are true, they automatically make a connection in their mind that the story is true. Now, the story may be false, but they're using facts to present the story as true. And that's how you may be tricked into some right-wing political movement that wants to enforce policies against your best interests. Because you may end up joining some right-wing populist movements. You get right-wing populist friends. So you feel welcomed. You feel like you've awakened. You feel enlightened. You feel like you're relevant. Okay, that's a love bombing. But that right-wing political movement, those people who lead it, they want to get rid of workers' rights. And as someone that's an employee, you need workers' rights, or else your boss can do whatever he wants with you. So that right-wing movement is a mask to hide a corporate entity that wants to exploit the population at ease. But they need popular support to cover their intentions. And you were groomed for that popular movement, not realizing that you, just like the others, hundreds of thousands that support this movement, are only being used to hide the corporate greed that goes on behind the scenes. And you're not even realizing this corporate greed is at your expense. You can't realize that because you're not even aware the corporate greed is there, because you're so focused on the social validation that you get from being part of that movement. People are conned every day. Often, they don't realize why they are so easily conned. Now, just because you've been conned doesn't mean that you're bad or that you're stupid. It simply means you're a human and someone took advantage of your natural weaknesses. However, some cons are so out of line that the only reason people fall for them is because people are fleeing from something. When you have a vulnerable moment in your life, it can be when you just graduated high school, or you graduated college, or you lost a parent because your parent passed away, or you're in a divorce, or just moved to another place. Anytime in your life, when you're in a transition from one chapter in your life to another, you are extra vulnerable. It's just the way it is. And when you are in transition phases, it's then that you're more likely to fall for scams. Especially if you have difficulty embracing the new chapter in your life. A lot of people, when they are in a transition, when one era in their lives ends and a new one begins, they often hold on to the old era. They don't want to let go of it. And when that's you, you're holding on to a previous chapter in your life, that investment in the past is already a con. So you actually con to yourself. And people that con themselves, they will fall for any type of con out there. Any. Of course, they won't fall for the ones that are way too ridiculous, openly, but likely they'll fall for anything. And don't be mistaken, many people are invested in the past. It may sound quite weird that I'm saying this, but just check around you. People hold on to past relationships, past convictions, past opinions, past expectations, past traumas, past good times. People hold on to a lot of things from the past. Now, the past is relevant, don't get me wrong. You don't have a present without the past. So the present is the result of the past, and the present, what you do today, will affect the future. So the past is relevant, absolutely. Or else the Bible wouldn't give a history of how heaven and earth came into being, how this whole sin conflict began. Just realize that you cannot look into the past, you can only reflect on the past and make use of the past for the present. However, a lot of people are not reflecting on the past, they're looking in the past. So it can be that someone was, let's say someone grew up in a family where the parents were emotionally defective. And therefore the parents were quite controlling. This individual is holding on to the hope that the parents would treat them better. But here's the thing. They're hoping to change the past. If you would tell them that they're hoping to change the past, they would tell you, of course not. I know the past cannot be changed, but that is what they want. They keep reliving the regret that the past was not different. And what happens? They end up attracting predators in their lives that will treat them just as bad, or sometimes even worse, than their parents did. And later they ask themselves how they fell for such people. It was because they had an investment that did not line up with reality. Anytime you have an investment that doesn't line up with reality, you are set up, or you're setting yourself up for ruin. Oh, let me repeat that. Anytime you have an investment that doesn't line up with reality, you are setting yourself up for ruin. One way or the other, sooner or later, often sooner, it will come. That is why the world conditions you in defective ways of thinking, so that you have a ruin that will haunt you, and by ruin haunting you, and you not having the right mindset to deal with it, you will not be able to do God's will. That's how they rob you, and that's why they oppose the will of the Heavenly Father. So realize that Satan will go to any length to keep people away from doing God's will. He'll do it the same way demons and the same way those reprobates who have vowed themselves against reality and against Christ. Well, that's it for this video. Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.